It's bedtime, little one. Are you ready for some whimsical adventures? Then let's go. Whimsical Nights is a delightful collection of magical bedtime stories that will transport you and your kids to enchanted lands filled with talking animals, mythical creatures, and valuable life lessons. And today we have 3 captivating tales to share with you. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more enchanting stories. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and sparkling waters, there lived a young princess named Iris. Unlike most princesses, Iris wasn't interested in embroidery or etiquette. Her heart yearned for grand adventures and thrilling escapades. Every night she would gaze at the stars and dream of faraway lands, much to the dismay of her overprotective parents, the king and queen. One evening, while Iris was brushing her long flowing hair, she noticed a tiny bird with shimmering wings trapped inside her tower. Taking pity on the creature, she gently opened the window to let it fly away. But instead of escaping, the bird perched on her finger and chirped melodiously, expressing its gratitude. Startled by this unusual display of affection, Princess Iris cautiously reached out to stroke the bird's soft feathers. As their bond deepened, the bird began to speak, revealing itself as a magical creature from the enchanted forest. The grateful bird told Iris about the dark forces that had trapped her and asked the princess for help. Moved by the bird's plight and yearning for adventure, Iris readily agreed to help her regain freedom. Accompanied by 2 loyal handmaidens, Iris embarked on a perilous journey through treacherous terrains and dense thickets to reach the enchanted forest. Along the way, they encountered fearsome beasts, including a grumpy troll who blocked their path. But Iris, drawing upon her inner strength and courage, outsmarted the troll and appeased his anger. Finally, reaching the forest's edge, Iris discovered a hidden clearing where the trapped birds awaited rescue. With a wave of her magic wand, Iris banished the dark forces that held the birds captive, setting them free to soar through the sky once again. Grateful for her assistance, the birds showered Iris with magical blessings, granting her the ability to understand and communicate with animals. Overjoyed, Iris returned home. Forever changed by her extraordinary adventure, she continued to use her newfound powers, becoming a compassionate ruler who championed the rights of all living beings. And so, Princess Iris, the once ordinary princess, became known throughout the land as the extraordinary animal whisperer. Have you ever heard the enchanting tale of Jack and the Beanstalk? Well, join us as we reimagine this classic story with a whimsical twist. Once upon a time, in a cozy cottage at the edge of a mystical wood, there lived a young lad named Jack. Known for his infectious laughter and adventurous spirit, Jack possessed a heart as pure as gold. One day, his mother, a woman with eyes as warm as the sun, asked him to venture into the nearby wood to sell their cow, Daisy, in hopes of earning enough money to buy some flour and bread. But upon arriving at the market, Jack discovered that Daisy was the worst milker in town and no one wanted to buy her. Feeling dejected, Jack decided to return home empty-handed. As he turned to leave, a mysterious old man approached him, offering to trade a bag of magic beans for Daisy. Intrigued, yet sensing an underlying trickery, Jack cautiously took the bag, handed over Daisy, and hurried back to his cottage. Upon entering, he found his mother stirring a pot on the stove and preparing their evening meal. When she saw the bag of beans, she was furious and threw them out the window. That night, as the moon bathed the cottage in silver light, Jack was awoken to the sound of someone climbing the wall. Looking out, he saw a giant, hairy man with bushy eyebrows and a booming voice descending from the sky. It was the beanstalk that grew overnight, connecting their cottage to the clouds above. The giant stomped into Jack's room, demanding the bag of magic beans. But Jack, summoning all his might, pushed the giant out the window and ran after him. As they slid down the beanstalk, Jack deftly dodged the giant's attempts to grab him and eventually landed safely on the ground. Seizing an opportunity, Jack pulled the beanstalk with all his force, causing it to snap and fall. The giant, caught off guard, tripped and tumbled alongside the beanstalk, landing in a heap at the bottom. Panting from the exertion, Jack looked up at the sky and saw fluffy white clouds forming a staircase leading straight to the heavens. Curiosity overwhelmed him, and he began to climb. In the distance, Jack could hear playful laughter echoing among the clouds. As he ascended higher, the sounds grew louder and more cheerful. Eventually, he spotted a majestic castle shimmering with rainbows and sparkling waterfalls. Delighted, Jack continued his journey until he reached the pearly gates of the castle. Pushing them open, he found himself in a magnificent garden filled with flowers that sang and trees that danced. Suddenly, a beautiful woman with wings like a hummingbird fluttered down from a tree branch. She introduced herself as the Queen of the Cloud Kingdom and warmly welcomed Jack to her magical realm. Upon learning of Jack's bravery and kindness, the Queen offered him a chance to take a bath in the wishing pool, whose waters had the power to grant any wish. But when it was time to depart, the Queen revealed that the only way back home was through the Whispering Woods, which could be dangerous to traverse alone. Sensing Jack's hesitation, the Queen summoned a brave knight named Sir Gideon, whose heart was pure and whose sword shone brightly. Together, they ventured into the woods, where they encountered talking trees and mischievous fairies. The Queen guided them, ensuring they stayed on the correct path. At last, the trees parted, revealing a babbling brook that flowed towards Jack's cottage. Overjoyed to be returning home, Jack thanked the Queen and Sir Gideon for their help and raced towards his humble abode. As he approached, he heard the sound of his mother's voice calling out his name. Bursting through the door, he fell into her loving embrace. When she learned of his incredible journey and the magic beans that had brought him to the Cloud Kingdom, her face lit up with wonder and pride. Together, they looked up at the beanstalk growing high above their cottage, knowing that their lives were forever changed by the magic that lay beyond the clouds. And now we bring you the captivating tale of Rosie the Brave Little Mouse. Deep within a sun-dappled forest, nestled amongst the roots of an ancient oak tree, lived a family of field mice. Among them was a tiny mouse named Rosie, whose spirit burned brighter than the midday sun. Despite her diminutive size, Rosie possessed a bravery that knew no bounds. This was evident from her earliest days when she fearlessly ventured out of the cozy burrow to explore the world beyond. One crisp autumn afternoon, as Rosie frolicked amidst the fallen leaves, she stumbled upon a grumpy hedgehog named Horace. Horace was notorious for his bad temper and prickly disposition, and he immediately began to scold her for disturbing his nap. Undeterred by his sharp words and even sharper spines, Rosie bravely stood her ground. She chirped and squeaked, trying to reason with the hedgehog, but Horace remained unmoved. Frustrated by his stubbornness, Rosie dashed away, vowing to find a solution to their conflict peacefully. As dusk settled over the forest, casting long shadows through the trees, Rosie sought the wisdom of Old Man Willow, the oldest and wisest tree in the wood. Upon hearing her tale, Old Man Willow rustled his leaves thoughtfully, suggesting that perhaps Horace's gruff exterior hid a kind heart. Intrigued, Rosie decided to test this theory. The following morning, Rosie returned to the clearing where she had met Horace, bringing with her a small acorn she had found during her adventure. With gentle determination, she placed the acorn at the base of the grumpy hedgehog's den, then scurried back a safe distance to observe. A few moments passed, and to Rosie's surprise, Horace emerged from his den and cautiously approached the acorn. As he sniffed it, a flicker of curiosity replaced his usual animosity. Slowly, Horace began gathering leaves and twigs, carefully building a small nest around the acorn. Rosie watched in awe, realizing that Horace wasn't as unkind as he pretended to be. Days turned into weeks, and Rosie and Horace developed an unlikely friendship. They spent their days exploring the forest together, sharing stories and laughter. Rosie's bravery had not only earned her a friend, but had also softened the heart of the once grumpy hedgehog. And so, in the heart of the sun-dappled forest, an extraordinary bond grew between a brave little mouse and a kind-hearted hedgehog, proving that true friendship can blossom in the most unexpected places. And there you have it, little one. We hope you enjoyed these whimsical adventures filled with magic, friendship, and courage. Which tale was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe for more enchanting stories. Sweet dreams, and until next time, may your days be filled with sunshine and your nights with starlight.